guys, my name's Craig from Slightly Unusual. On this week's vlog, I'm going to answer the question that I get asked all the time. Who's the best magician in Slightly Unusual? So there's 7 people in Slightly Unusual. There's myself, there's Nemid, there's Alex, there's Stevie, there's Si, there's Steph, and there's Tiffany. The question we get asked all the time is which member of Slightly Unusual should you book for your event? Is the one that's better than the other? Who should you have? Should it be Steph? Should it be Tiff? Should it be not? Well, you know what? In this vlog, I'm going to tell you exactly who the best member of Slightly Unusual is. So first up, you've got Nemid Phoenix. Now, Nemid Phoenix is technically the best magician in Slightly Unusual. There is nobody better. This is a guy who spends 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, learning sleight of hand. He is never happy. If he sees something that he wants to do, he will just sit there and put as much time and effort into it that it needs in order to learn that skill. He's an amazing magician from a technical point of view, from a sleight of hand point of view. He's brilliant. He can manipulate coins, he can manipulate cards, he can do all of that stuff. He's also an exceptional mentalist. He really is the total package, and you know what? He's the most organised guy that I've ever met. He has catalogued on a hard drive every single trick that he's ever learned and every single trick he ever wants to learn, and he's more than happy to put something together specific to a specific performance. The thing that you need to remember about Nemid is he has a very different performing style to everybody else in Slightly Unusual. Me, for example, I'm really high energy. Nemid's not high energy. The best way to describe Nemid is kind of like the Jack D of magic. He's very sarcastic, and you know what? Some people absolutely love that style, and we have people all the time saying, hey, I want Nemid at my event. And if you are a fan of hardcore sleight of hand, you definitely want Nemid at your event. But you know, some people aren't into that style, and if you're not into that style, Nemid will adapt for you, but maybe there are better options. But for sure, without a shadow of a doubt, when it comes to technical sleight of hand and it comes to that Jack D style of performance, there is nobody better than Nemid. Then you've got Si Pedal. Now, Si Pedal is probably the most inexperienced member of Slightly Unusual when it comes to magic, but he is for sure one of the most experienced performers. Si is what we call an all-rounder. He is an amazing musician. He can play the drums, he can play bass, he can play the guitar. When I first met Si, he was singing at an event that I was actually performing magic at. He was singing and playing the guitar. He really is an all-rounder. He has spent most of his life on the stage. And the thing with Si is when he decides that he wants to do something, he goes at it 150%. He recently just put a new trick in his act, and he went and got a tattoo on his arm specifically to do that trick. Now that is dedication. The other thing about Si, he's not the most technically gifted performer because he's more inexperienced than everyone else. So from a sleight of hand basis, he may not be as advanced as somebody like myself or Alex or Nemid or Steve, but there's 2 things that he has going for him. First of all, he has that X factor. When he walks out on stage, or he walks out into a room, or he walks up to a table, he lights the whole room up. Within 3 seconds of talking, he grabs everyone's attention. You can't teach that. You've either got it or you haven't, and Si has most definitely got that. He could stand head and shoulders against any other magician in the world, and that magician could know 1 billion more tricks than Si, and I guarantee you that Si would get a better reaction from that table for the simple reason that Si has that it factor. He's got that X factor that's very, very difficult to teach, which is why when you look at him performing, the reactions he gets are through the roof, and the reason is because of that X factor. The other thing is when Si decides that he wants to do something, he does it. So when he wants to come up with a new trick or he wants to learn a new move, he'll do whatever it takes in order to make sure that he learns it and gets it perfect. I remember teaching him a trick with a rope and a ring, and it's something that I took like a couple of months to learn. He had it down and he was putting it in his show literally the next day. So the thing with Si is, no, he's not the most technically gifted performer in Slightly Unusual, but hey, you're not going to find a better entertainer. When you talk Si Pedal, you can't talk Si without talking about Steve. And the reason is, not only are they in Slightly Unusual, but you know, they work together an awful lot as well. We developed this show called the Si and Stevie Show, or the Stevie and Si Show, I should say. I'll get in trouble with Stevie if I call it the Si and Stevie Show. And you know, that's a show that's in demand literally up and down the UK. Slightly Unusual presents the Stevie and Si Show. So they work together an awful lot. And Stevie is the yin to Si's yang. He's an exceptional magician. He's very talented, and he's one of these all-rounders. Normally, when you see a magician, they'll specialise in one thing. Like you'll see a card magician, and 90% of their set will be cards, or there'll be a coin magician, and most of their set will be coins. I've seen Stevie at one time or the other do absolutely everything. He's done cards, he's done coins, he's done rope, mentalism. He can pretty much do it all. He can take anything and he can make something wonderful out of that item. And he takes random stuff and he performs with it. He really is an all-rounder. And the other thing is, Steve has been involved in entertainment his whole life. You know, he's a singer, like Si, he's a singer. You know, he's a musician, but also he's an exceptional cabaret performer. He's one of the top cabaret performers I've ever met. And that experience of standing on stage and performing in front of people, which is something he's done for years and years and years, it just makes him a better close-up magician. Because the problem with close-up magicians sometimes, if they've never had to stand on stage and command a big stage, what happens is there's certain skills that you learn when you do that you can actually use when you're actually doing close-up magic. So the problem with some close-up magicians is when they're doing a function, for example, with big tables, they won't be very confident when they go over to the table. They'll be like, hi, I'm the magician, and they won't get the whole table. Stevie does that because he's used to performing in front of big crowds. He'll go over to the table and he'll blow them away every single time. That experience as a cabaret performer, he brings to his performances as a close-up magician. The other thing that's great about Stevie is he's very good at mentalism as well. I've seen him perform a lot of mentalism routines, which is great because, you know, these days so many people are into Darren Brown and mind reading and people like that, and you know, he takes whatever people are interested in and he puts it into his performance. Steve is just an amazing all-rounder, a great entertainer, and you'll never go wrong with Steve. He's absolutely phenomenal. Then you have Alex Foden. Now, Alex Foden is based down London, but we don't hold that against him. The thing that's great about Alex, I remember starting working with Alex when he first learned close-up magic, and he was terrible. I mean, he was awful. And he got really good. Not just a little bit good, he got really good. Then I remember when Alex started doing cabaret shows, and he was awful. Not just a little awful, really awful. I have footage on my hard drive of the first cabaret show he ever did, and one day I'll release it. I've never seen anyone die on his arse as much as Alex did that day. But you know what? He got awesome. Not just a little bit awesome, he got really awesome. Then I remember when he first started doing illusion shows and he was not that great, and then he got awesome. Not just a little awesome, really awesome. Now hopefully you're seeing a trend here, and the trend is that Alex is just the quintessential perfectionist. If he wants to do something, he's the sort of guy that will literally put his heart and soul into it until it's absolutely perfect. The other thing about Alex is he goes above and beyond for the clients. I've seen him dress up as a lion performing close-up magic at an event because the client wanted the performer to dress up like a lion. I've seen him literally throw his whole day away and run down somewhere to cover gigs for people just because he wants to help them. He's the most selfless, one of the nicest people that I have ever met, and that actually transcends into his performances, because when he's performing for people, you can see he really wants the people he's performing for to have a great time. And he's grown from being somebody who many years ago wasn't great to really being one of the best close-up magicians I've ever seen. And I'll tell you right now, controversial statement, but I don't care. I don't think that there's anybody in the UK that can do Rubik's Cube magic as well as Alex Foden can. He's absolutely brilliant. And the nice thing about Alex, whether it's mix and mingle, whether it's a parlour show, whether it's a stage show, whether it's big tables, whatever it is, he can adapt himself because he's had so much experience in so many different areas. He's even performed in comedy clubs before. Because he's performed in all these different environments, he's a great entertainer. He's always going to put the best performance on, and he's very funny as well. He's very funny. Don't let him know that I've said this, but he's a phenomenal magician. So then you've got Steph Chadwick. Now Steph is actually the assistant in our illusion show. So she's the girl that gets in the boxes, and she jumps in and out of boxes, and you know, and we saw her in half, and we chop her into bits, and it's all fun and games. But you know what? Steph is rapidly becoming an amazing magician as well. I mean, she's becoming a great magician. She's becoming really, really good. Look at the footage from when she was performing last week at the Trafford Centre. The reactions that she gets is really good. You know, a lot of the stuff that she does, it's technically not very demanding, but it doesn't matter, because the best way to describe Steph is batshit crazy. And because she's so absolutely bonkers, that enthusiasm and that excitement that she brings to her performances transcends beyond what she's doing to the audience as well. So even though she's doing simpler stuff, the audience are having a fantastic time because they're watching her perform and they're really buying into her character and they're really buying into her as a person as well. And then you've got Tiffany. So Tiffany is another member of Slightly Unusual, and as a close-up magician, Tiffany is amazing. I've known Tiffany since she was 13 years old, and now, again, one of the assistants in our show, but Tiffany is an all-rounder. She's the assistant in the show, but she's also been the lead in the show as well. She's done cabaret, she's done kids shows, she's done absolutely everything. And I've gone and performed with her doing close-up, and you know what? I've been there doing my best stuff, and she's been there doing her stuff, and everybody flocks to her because she looks so good and people want to see what she's doing. It's just great. And you know what? She does the linking rings and fibre optics. Fibre optics is a rope routine. She manipulates rope and rings better than anybody I've ever met. Honestly, if you see Tiffany at an event, you will not be disappointed. She's so good. And then finally you have me. So the question is, who's the best close-up magician? Well, you know, people know me as having a giant ego. So I'm going to tell you right now, who's the best close-up magician in Slightly Unusual? Of course it's me. My name's Craig Petty. I'm the best there is, I'm the best there was, I'm the best there ever will be. I'm the man, I'm the myth, I'm the legend, I'm the bad boy of magic. I'm the #1 motivational magician in the UK. And I've pretty much taught every single person there how to do close-up. Every single person in Slightly Unusual, they couldn't hold a candle to me because I am literally that damn good. Whether it's coin magic, whether it's sleight of hand, whether it's mentalism, I am the whole effing show. There is nobody in the world, forget about Slightly Unusual, there's nobody in the world, in any country in the world, that can hold a candle to me because I'm the best there is, I'm the best there was, and I'm the best there ever will be. I joke, of course. Okay, you know, I'm being a little bit egotistical here. But you know what? The thing that I'm trying to make here, the point I'm trying to make is, obviously I think I'm the best magician in Slightly Unusual. Because in order to be a great performer, you have to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will believe in you. So I believe that I'm the best. If I put Alex or Nemeth or Steph or Cy or Steve or Tiff in front of this camera and I asked them the same question, they'd say that they were the best. And that's the thing about Slightly Unusual. The thing about Slightly Unusual is we all think we're the best. And the point is, if you're ringing us up saying which entertainer shall I have for my event, it doesn't matter because we are all awesome. There's not one of us that's better than the other. We're all going to do a fantastic job. So my advice to you is, if you've seen one of us perform before, ask for us and we'll come along at your event. But if you haven't seen one of us perform before, you've got two options. The first option is have a look at the videos on the site and maybe you can get a flavour as to who you want at your event. Or the other option is, you know, just ask us to allocate somebody. Whatever performer you get in Slightly Unusual, you're going to have an amazing time. Obviously, if you have me, you're going to have a better time than any of the other guys. Anyway, guys, if you want to contact us, just do so by going on the website www.slightlyunusual.co.uk, fill in the contact form, and we'll get back to you with a no-obligation consultation within an hour, and we'll give you a quote. And, you know, if you want to speak to us on the phone, give us a call on 033330130002. Finally, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. We put videos on every single day. Tutorials on a Sunday, vlogs on a Friday, magic performance videos pretty much every single day of the week. So subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't, and I'll see you again tomorrow with another magic video. My name's Craig from Slightly Unusual.